What is up, comic
Hey.
fans? Hey! All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Monday Couch Show.
Yep, we're back with another edition of the CryptoComics Couch, where we break down the comic book landscape and let you into our world. So there's a lot going on today.
Yeah. I just want to rush through this because I want to check in with chat really fast, and then I want to get to an unboxing, like immediately. Sound good? Okay,
Yep.
So first of all, we got Andrew Dodge inside of chat saying hello, happy Monday. Hope you all had a great, good day so far. It's been pretty rad. It's been pretty cool. I mean, Jared's been crazy today. Not really
He's
sure
been
why,
on
but
one, man. I think he's had too much coffee.
Kind of a jerk to me this morning. He's mean. Nobody's Illusion says, hello, can I just please start with a huge thank you to Roseanne Kirby. I got my surprise package of Temerity #1 and #2, signed and variant covers yesterday. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
Rose out here hooking everybody up.
Wow.
Too cool. Gypsy Leaf says, OMG, Rose is amazing.
Yeah.
Andrew Dodge says, how is that any different than any other day with Jared? It's really not.
Well,
I mean,
Jared has
he's at like a 5% increase.
Coffee today.
Nah.
He must have hit Dutch Brothers or something.
Oh, you think there's Dutch Brothers? You think he goes for that? What do you think? I'll bet you he puts a lot of creamer in his coffee. You know what I mean? Whole lot of creamer.
Yeah. With a little, sprinkle of crack on top. So yeah.
He's got sprinkles everywhere. I'm just saying, I saw him in the office this morning. Dude was covered in head to toe with glitter. Not sure what he's been up to all weekend. But
that
he's been having some fun. Been having some fun. Okay, so I want to do this unboxing really fast before we get over to the news because it's super rad. Oh, you got the same package.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you get?
Go ahead. No.
Wait.
Same time.
Okay. I got In Flesh and Spirit from Tidalwave.
Oh, nice.
What do you have? I got some other books in here.
I got some Stormy Daniel.
Wait, I have a Stormy Daniel.
10th Muse. Oh,
you got a 10th Muse?
Yeah.
What? Did you get a Juliet? Bro, I feel like there's a theme in this box.
I had been selected for a most important journey. I was to help fulfill the destiny of the two great ones, Bill and Ted.
Wild stallions rule! Whenever time stands still and trouble moves too fast, to save the future, we must learn about the past. Whoa! Excellent! Bill and Ted. Bogus! Adventures most outstanding every day. It's outrageous, so bodacious. Help is always on the way. Bill and Ted's excellent adventures. It's a party, that's for sure. Bill and Ted's most excellent adventures. Most triumphant.
Whoa! What up? What? Can you hear me? Shut up. You can't hear me. Technical problems. I can't hear you, but I love it. Oh wait, your mic is blocked. Dude, your mic. Dude, there you go.
Dude, I'm trying to figure this out.
Dude,
my gosh, I don't know how to do this.
I was reading about Socrates. It was super great. Oh,
dude, that's excellent.
Damn.
So,
get rid of them.
I just want to say to everybody out there, we want to wish all of you dudes a great day.
How about,
Yeah?
how about a great month? How about a great Pride Month?
Oh, yeah!
You know what? Let's make this into CouchCon Pride Edition, where we're gonna bring in. I'm gonna get my rotor. I don't even have a phone. I'm like looking for a phone. Oh, I got my phone here. It's a landline. I'm gonna go back into time and call all the people that I love the most. So let's.
Darren, my dude. Do it. Just hit the button. Something magical will happen, man.
Well, we're gonna find some cool LGBTQ Pride Edition creators, and this is why my acting career never took off, bro.
What, dude? No, it's not true, man.
So the first person we're gonna call
Is
is my best friend besides you, Andrew Shayde.
what?
Comic book creator, Naked and Afraid. Oh.
Excellent.
Woo!
Cheers.
Hello, Andrew Shayde.
What's
My
going on,
dude.
brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm gnarly, dude. Today was far out.
Excellent.
So, what's your favorite number?
7?
Yeah.
I like 7 too. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Yeah. All right. So, what's your favorite color?
Blue. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I would
good
have totally
answer.
went for the rainbow, dude.
Oh, right. Dang, honestly my favorite color is glitter. But
Oh, nice.
I
That's
just thought
very
I was wearing
excellent.
blue. So
Well,
So, Andrew Shayde, tell us a little bit about you.
Interesting. That's a good question. Well, I'm a gay man. I'm a comic book writer. Darren is holding some of my books in his hand right there. That's the new
Oh, hold on.
Juliet
Let's
and
get a
Romeo
close up
series.
on that.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
covered by Randy.
So- Yep. I'm got my fingers typing on a lot of fun stories right now. So it's fun to be an openly gay man during Pride Month and to be a writer on books like Space Force, Stormy Daniels right there. I'm also
whoa,
a
let me get a close up. Whoa.
look how good Stormy looks. You're fired, she says.
I know.
I love that cover so much. I'm also a reality TV star. I use that term loosely, but I've gotten to race around the planet on The Amazing Race. And I'm most recently seen on Naked and Afraid, where I got to survive in an African jungle. And that just aired just a few weeks ago on the Discovery Channel.
Ooh.
And there I am
Look at
dressed
that.
as
I see.
the Little Mermaid. But like a
Nice. Oh
call
my
that
gosh.
gender
That's
bending
so awesome.
Little Mermaid.
Best.
I was
Yeah.
Ariel's brother,
Getting you off. So yeah, you were
Barry.
Naked and Afraid that aired about a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
and now you
Hold,
writing comics.
hold that thought, bro. I think we
Yeah.
actually have something to show y'all.
What?
So that bird that we thought was getting eaten last night,
Yeah.
that's just what it sounds like all the time. The dramatic bird.
Yes. Dramatic bird.
And there's a bird down by the water, and it sounds like it's saying, hooray! Hooray!
Stop talking to the birds, Andrew.
It's the loudest place I've ever been. Sounds like a drunk frat party.
When I was in Africa, I made friends with all the animals, and they were all very loud and kept me awake all night long. But I still love them. The birds were great. They just wouldn't shut up. Kind of like Darren.
I'm like that little annoying thing in your ear.
So all you got to do is turn down his mic, bro.
That's true.
Fantastic. So you're working on comics right now. This is Pride Month. Are you doing anything in relation to that this month, or any comics in relation to that coming out?
Yeah, you bet. I think, as I grew up reading comics, that was my escapism as a little kid. And My brother was the big football, baseball playing jock, and I was the comic book reading kid, and I love to escape into those adventures and those stories. And so I just, as a writer, I want to make sure that the characters are diverse and all very different. And that includes sometimes LGBT characters. Stormy Daniels is openly and proud bisexual woman. The new Juliet and Romeo series has a gay male character. And so I just like to, it's not on purpose. It's not to represent me. It's just to get just different types of characters out there. We always have, I'm the superhero. I am in love with a girl. I save the day. And we just want to branch that out just a little bit. So I think everyone should view that is a great thing because we get more exciting stories that way when you start to see different types of characters.
Rock on.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I want to talk about that more because I remember being on the Gay in Comics panel. And so this is one question I want to throw back with our next guest too, for everybody about, should there be more, LGBTQ people in comic books and that type of stuff? And should it be more organic or should it be forced? So I think we should bring in Andy Mangels, who is literally my favorite comic book people ever. I've met him when I first started out doing comic books. This man is amazing. He wrote Wonder Woman, Star Trek. He has done so much, and whoever's watching this probably owns things that he's done, like the Wonder Woman, like the He-Man DVDs, the all the stuff for Filmation. He basically produced all the behind the scenes content. He is so amazing, and he's also a Portland person, which ironically Andrew used to be. And so let's introduce and bring him in. Here
I am. Hey,
hello, Andy. Dude.
Man, check out that office. I am jealous. That's amazing.
This is my Wonder office.
That's a shrine.
It's
holy criminy.
It's not even 1% of my collection, but it's a lot of fun.
Dude, do you mind if I show something really cool real quick, Andy?
Spin it if you want.
Oh.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All the world's waiting for you.
Whoa.
That is one hell of an intro video. I love the three guys walking by while you're spinning. What in the Sam Hill?
Yeah, but when you're behind the scenes at Warner Brothers lot and you still get people raising their eyebrows, it's a good day.
That's right.
When did they start casting fat gay superheroes?
Well, it's about time.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I just have a feeling. Ooh, that was a crazy feeling.
Tickled.
So Joe.
So
what are you working on now?
Joe Mama. That's you, Jared. Andy, what are you working on now?
What am I working on now?
Bimini Christmas. I looked at the wrong thing.
Well, I just had 6 graphic novels come out. Where are we here?
Oh.
Beauty and the Barista, Rapunzel Swings, The Little Mermaid Song, Snow White and the Seven Dogs. It's they're all modern takes on fairy tales. It's called Fractured Fairy Tales, and they're all modern takes on it, set in today's world and society with a lot of diversity and a lot of fun, kind of life lessons and things like that, but also very, very hip and up to date.
Where are they published through?
Those are published through Abdo Books, and they're available on Amazon. They're also in lots of school libraries and the library system. They did not come out for the comic book field. They came out specifically for schools and libraries to promote it so kids could read them for free.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
And then lately, I do have to show these. This is my my pandemic hobby. Is you can see some on the shelves back there, but I've been customizing Mangels, including like the original Red Tornado from the Golden Age, and who's this hot leather daddy?
Oh my god!
So I've been working on these, and this is probably the most obscure one, but I think it turned out beautifully.
Ooh, Tempest. Oh no, Aquaman in that.
Yeah, this is Aquaman in his Neil Posner design suit, which was Neil was a gay editor up at DC and art director, and he designed this beautiful look for Aquaman. So there we go.
Migo.
Huh? Oh, Migo! Hey, look at that there. Those look like originals, though.
They are the originals. Yeah.
I know it's Pride Month, but we all don't have to compare the size of our Migos. Okay.
Well, you did say your favorite number was 8, and these are 7, and these are all 8. So it's a little bit bigger than your favorite.
Do you sew them, or do you how do you do the costumes? Are you?
I pay other people to. A lot of it is kind of coming up with what's gonna fit for. This was an Alice figure from Brady Bunch, and I wrapped her in insulation and bought an oversized Barbie outfit, and my husband sewed the cape, and so it's a lot of trial and error and figuring out what's what. But lately, I've been actually getting stuff designed through 3D printing. So this is Connor Leslie from Titans. She's partially painted, and I just picked up. You saw Lyle Wagner earlier. Here's a Lyle Wagner head that I had done and designed.
Yeah, that's cool. I like your head.
So it's kind of a way for me to go back to my best time in my childhood, and also have some fun with, since we couldn't have company during the pandemic, this became my company.
Yeah.
I did Maker King comic books.
So. I couldn't have Jared Theodore Logan come over and pop his claws, and Andrew Shayde had his clothes on, and Darren, you were just
that's rare.
You were just caught in the tidal wave.
What a good productive hobby during COVID. I just took naps and drank too much.
Cheers.
I've got tea.
Oh yeah. If my husband,
I have tea too, Andy.
Tea, I'm sorry.
It's okay. See, this is why I do this. My kissing strip.
I made him do this. It's the Wolverine look.
It's beautiful.
I love it. Great. I'm into it.
Especially like the white arms, the super white arms.
Yeah, that's called a farmer tan.
Yeah.
We do that. Yeah. There's a good look for it. See that? Oh yeah, baby. Oh no, wait, wrong one. Oh yeah.
See, Jared, you come to Africa with me, you'll come back. No tan lines. None.
Dude. Or I could go to Hawaii with Darren. And then I'd still have no town lines. I was jealous of both of you. It's okay.
Well, then
I was living vicariously through you guys on Facebook.
Yeah, then like we were home for 20 hours and then flew to Andrew's birthday, which was on the 14th, 15th. And
happy birthday.
Yeah, we played it. And so yeah, we literally flew there and came back, so our time zones were all off. But so okay, one of the things we're forced.
Darren, you got a question, and I want to know the answer.
Batman glass. Where did you get that? From a friend that I don't talk to anymore.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Unless you're the one that's asking about it, then thank you. So we've lost things in COVID. Sorry.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna play this drinking game.
Okay.
Okay. What do we drink at?
So
every time
we say what
on camera. I'd say it's a double shot if he takes his shirt off.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. Here.
I'll just pour you a shot to keep it on.
It gets way.
All right, deal. Start drinking, Shayde.
You guys, one of the things we're forced to do, because this is CouchCon, and Jared and I just can't run amok as much as we want.
Well, this isn't CouchCon. CouchCon is going to be at the end of this week, 25th, 26th, and 27th. This is Couch, where people can come talk and hang out with us from the comfort of their couch.
We even have a sister wife in the house. Come on over,
dude. Sister wife rock.
Four.
Excellent.
Oh.
Hello.
Darren always needs a live studio audience to perform.
Dude, seriously. Or he always has one.
So,
he's trying to get ratings. He's trying to get some ratings. He's desperate.
Before I invite you here today, it's Pride, all that stuff. Andy, you do like the best panels at Comic-Con. You do the Gays and Comic panel. You invited me like 10 years ago. So I have a question that I'm going to, or actually it was probably like 15 years ago. So I have a question thrown back at you after we do some news that we're all going to comment on that is Pride related. So we're going to start off with Loki. So we're not going to do spoilers, of course, for people that haven't watched it. Are you guys watching Loki?
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Well, I watched the first episode, but that's the only one available.
No, 2 are available.
Oh, 2.
They came out with number 2 when?
Every Wednesday, Jared.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
Go back in time and find it.
Nice, Andy. I'm totally going to do it, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
We're going to take a drink now.
Okay.
Oh, yep, you're right. Take a drink. Everybody drink.
This game's hard. Woo.
Oh, I'm going to get you drunk, Shayde.
It don't take much.
All right.
So what's your viewpoint on Loki now being gender fluid? Is it forced, or is it, for me personally, I think it actually kind of works. I love the show. I love the character. What do you guys think about him being gender fluid right now? Are they going to bring it into the comic books, do you think?
Go ahead, Andrew.
I would love to see this. I don't think it's really been talked about on the show. I think it's in an article. Maybe some writer mentioned it, but it's not really been brought up in any kind of specific way in any of the films or the new show, really. So I don't know that's representation yet. A producer can be like, yeah, some of the characters are LGBT, but not specify who. And if it's never referenced in the film, then that's not being represented. That's not representation. So maybe they'll build on it and they know that that's coming, of course, because it's already been produced. But
did you watch episode 2?
I did.
Okay, so no spoilers. But
I
think
do not spoil.
That was clear. Gender fluid. I could argue that one, I suppose.
So wait a minute. So if I understand correctly, you're saying that the article says that he's gender fluid, but in the show thus far, you haven't seen any kind of indication of that? Because I didn't see any indication from episode 1 that he was gender fluid.
I think that what they're doing, they're this is Pride Month. They're playing on the fact that they have a huge LGBTQ audience. They know that from the reactions that they've gotten, and they're playing on our desires for any shred of any kind of representation. And it isn't to say that they aren't going to feature it, or that Tom Hiddleston isn't playing things that way. But as without spoiling episode 2 and what I assume is coming up, we just don't know that gender fluid is going to be a part of the show. It may be part of the character and it may be part of his portrayal, but I don't know that it's going to be part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They showed. This probably won't spoil too much, but we know that there's different Lokis in different universes. There's also one that kind of looked elven. There's one that kind of looked like a variant of the Hulk. So we know there's all these different kind of Lokis. So it's kind of like, is he gender fluid? Sure, but he's also elven fluid and Hulk fluid, and it depending on which universe you're talking about. So I don't know that I would consider that a big win during LGBT Pride Month, but I love all the comments everybody's posting. I've actually almost agreed with all of them. It is cool. I love what they've done so far, but I'm not like, this is an LGBT victory in the march forward on getting representation in front of the world. I don't feel that this was it.
I do agree that all the articles are, clickbait sometimes. But I actually saw this in 4 places. So that's where I was kind of like, oh, maybe there is some, validity to it. And if not, is the Marvel comic universe or cinematic universe, are they representing? I don't think at this point they have yet. I think the comic books,
comics for sure.
But
they're rumored that one of the Eternals is openly LGBT and shares an intimate moment with his partner. So it's not just like, well, yeah, he's gay, but we're not going to show it or talk about it on camera. Apparently, in the Eternals film, it will actually be shown. Yeah. That's representation.
Yeah. When you're talking about the stuff being clickbait, that's actually, and I see a couple of the people commenting about that, that's actually a really important part of the process. I've talked a lot about on panels over the years, I've talked a lot about the fact that fans need to request this. People need to make it an issue for other people to think about it sometimes. I was at the Farscape panel once, and Farscape was a science fiction TV show with one human, and everybody else in the series was aliens. And all the white male producers and writers are all sitting up on the panel, and I stood up and I said, why is it that in a series in which every character is an alien except for one, we have only seen heterosexual romantic attraction between anybody in 4 years? Why have we not seen anything? And they looked at each other with freaked out eyes. And finally one of them said, because we haven't thought about it. And one of the things that fans can do, and one of these things these clickbait articles do, is that they keep producers thinking about it. We talk about during BLM and everything else, we talk about the dialogue that has to happen. Part of having that dialogue is putting forward the idea that this representation is needed. The representation is needed for people of color. The representation is needed for people who are, have different handicap capabilities. The representation is needed for women. The representation is needed for LGBTQI. And we have to keep questioning those straight white guys who are running things in order, and sometimes that's a clickbait headline, in order for them to go, yeah, we need to do that.
I agree. I think if anybody's watching and you're like, I don't get it, what really is representation? That's just showing that the world is a very diverse place. We're not all straight white superheroes who have a girlfriend and save the day. The world is full of different people. So why are all of our heroes straight white men or straight white women. Why is that? And then when you have this whole world of diverse readers and people that love to go to the movies, not everybody that goes to these films and reads these books are very different. Every one of us is different. And so how incredible is it for other groups of people other than just straight white folks? Isn't it amazing? When I was young and kind of felt like I was the weird kid, isn't that cool to get to read a character that I could kind of identify with, that I know what he's feeling, I understand what he's going through. And that's what representation is, just showing that the world's diverse. Let's show it in all of our characters.
Can I show you?
Everyone can be accepted regardless.
That is so great. Can I show you a mistake that I made? And this is honest to God true, and I will own this. So we did 3 graphic novels, and if you look at the graphic novels, they all go together. It's a lot of white people, except for Paul. You know what? At the time when I was doing these, I didn't really think, I put 4 people together and it becomes one graphic novel. And then I was thinking about this, that I'm not representing like Little Nas X or Billy Porter or Laverne Cox and all that type of stuff. But back when I was doing these, when I first started doing the biography comic books, there wasn't a lot to work with. And I was just doing people that were just popular at the time.
Not because people of color weren't doing great things, because they weren't getting the headlines and the attention that other people would.
There's so many great, and so that's one thing that I've learned, and that's my next lesson is to do people, people of color, people that have done great things in, the gay and lesbian world and the trans world. I want to do, I'm trying to think, who can I do that's trans that has an amazing story? And, Laverne Cox, I really do like her. And I do definitely want to do something on her, is I think one of the next people. And if anybody has suggestions, please always feel free. You can ask, because the world is not all about my Dolly Partons and the shares and all that type of stuff. It really is about telling. We did this story of Stonewall, which was really important for me to tell. And so, anybody has suggestions?
Yeah, and it's so people think, well, we want more representation. They think, why are you attacking straight white guys? We're not. We just want to hang out with you. We want to be in the comic books with you. That's all. Like, we're not attacking anybody. Your commenters are the best. I'm reading every one, and y'all totally get it. I love that. The best thing you can do is, if you're one of our straight brothers, is like, I got your back. I agree. If you see a movie that's a gay rom-com, go see it. Like, we have seen 1,000 straight rom-coms, and we're not straight, and we love them. We guarantee you'll probably like them too. Go support when they offer these cool films and stories and books. Check them out. Don't shy away because the characters are different than you.
Mm-hmm. Like Jared, he's my stag hag.
Yeah, and I can understand being a straight white guy. I can understand how it kind of makes you nervous. And you feel out of place, because I felt very honored to be invited into this awesome show with you guys. Like, it was awesome. But I have to say, I was really nervous because I'm out of my element. But I'll tell you what, you're some of the most awesome people I've ever gotten to meet. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting this poor white boy.
Hell yeah. We're not trying to push anybody out of the table. We're not trying to push anybody. We're not trying to push anybody off the table. We're just trying to sit at the table with you. That's it, with everybody.
And what am I going to do this?
Hey, I got a question I want to answer.
What? What's your question?
Did he freeze?
Me?
What happened? Are you okay, Darren? Darren, wake up, dude!
Oh, he's good with me. Someone did ask Jared, who is your favorite Pride actor or actress who has been on screen? Maybe
Stormy Daniels.
Of course it is.
I'm not sure she counts, but
I would smack you in the back of the head if you were right here, dude.
It's so bad because it's Jared. I wanted to do
No, Matt. No, that was a joke. I'm actually gray.
So I'm moving to the next topic of the day is, so I was kind of like looking around.
Darren.
What?
He's good on my screen.
he's fine. Stop yelling at him.
I am not going to get closer so you can see my wrinkles. This is
filters. Filters, baby.
So my next thing is
I'm freezing up.
Talk about DC Pride #1 and Marvel Comics Pride and all that type of stuff. So one of the things that I was researching is, so DC did Pride Month, and it's $9.99, which I don't get. And but the weird part for me, to be honest, is so DC Comics actually has a bunch of Pride shirts and that type of stuff. And so this is the straight white man not giving us tank tops, but giving us t-shirts and girl tank tops. So I'm super mad about that, first of all. But then the second part is the DC Pride #1. How do you guys feel about DC Marvel doing Pride stuff? And then I'm going to turn it into going into a Target and seeing Pride or Nike Pride. And I get Nike does a lot, but like Target and all these companies jumping on into the Hallmark bandwagon of Pride. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, remember that a lot of that comes from the people who are asking for it to happen. You know, them listening to the fans, but it also comes from employees who are finally in a position where they can make some of those changes. When I was the first openly gay person in mainstream comics 35 years ago, and when I came out and there was nobody who would use their real names or come out publicly, it started a dialogue about this, and I kept pushing companies for that. And little by little, people who worked at those companies would come out, or they would hire somebody. I was offered a job at DC Comics at one point and turned it down. But then, you know, years later, they get their first lesbian editor, and then you know, a gay person in this department, and a lesbian in that department, a trans person here, and etc. And that's how, one of the reasons that they can now make that transition to having a more diverse lineup is by recognizing that they need to hire a more diverse set of people. And that doesn't just happen at DC and Marvel. That happens at Nike. That happens at Target. That happens at stuff. Yeah, they see our gay dollars, and our gay dollars are fabulous and more plentiful, but but that doesn't mean that they aren't in some ways coming from a great place with this, that they aren't trying.
People, some LGBT folks feel like during Pride Month, businesses just show up with Pride gear to make money. One, we ought to remember they are businesses. They exist to make money. We need to remember that back when I was a kid reading comic books or walking into Target or a grocery store, there were no openly LGBTQ characters. There was no Pride section in the grocery store or Target like there is right here where I live in Kentucky now. So I just think we begged for people to be involved. We begged them to participate. And then when they did, some people pointed a finger and said, you just want our money. Yes, businesses always have wanted your money before Pride and now. But also, I always think I work with homeless youth, many of whom, nearly half of whom are LGBTQ+. And I just think about the mentality of those young queer kids walking into the grocery store or Target or a comic book store and seeing a rainbow on a book cover or on a t-shirt or a coffee mug, and the difference that could make if they live in an unsupportive home. Maybe there's a lot of hate there, but they can go out and they see the whole world is not that way. And there are these sections in these stores that show love and support, and that I have the opportunity to maybe someday be open. I think that is incredible for young queer kids to see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sorry guys, because my connection's a little rough, so I'm sorry for cutting you off, Darren. Andy, you were one of the first people to actually come out with your name. Is that what you said?
There were people who were in what was at that point the underground comic scene, comics that were sold at head shops and adult bookstores, and a few comic book stores, but there was nobody who was working for Marvel and DC and mainstream color comics at all. So I was the first one. I did an article back in 1988 in Amazing Heroes magazine, and it's available on my website, which you posted a link to earlier, called Out of the Closet and Into the Comics. It was a 35-page article that talked about where we were at that point in the world with LGBTQ characters. This is before LGBTQ was a thing. It was just gay and lesbian. And where we were with those and where we were with creators. And I interviewed a lot of creators, but none of them would use their real names. They were too scared to lose work. And there were people who had worked on Batman and Captain America and Punisher and X-Men and, you know, all this stuff. And they were just, they were terrified that they would lose work. And, you know, in the 35 years I've been out in the business, I do have to say, even today, I have lost work. Not today, but I mean, even in 2021, I have lost work, not necessarily due to being openly queer, but by, you know, there's an editor at one of the major companies who has made it clear that he's uncomfortable with me, and people don't understand that the reason he's uncomfortable with me is because I confronted him 30 years ago about his homophobic attitudes, and so he has carried anger towards that and discomfort for 30 years, and he's made other editors, if they bring up my name, he's like, I'd rather have someone else, you know.
Really?
And you know what this guy did once, you know, or whatever. And so it becomes a situation where he may not be homophobic in the classic sense of the word, but that doesn't mean he's not stopping me from getting work solely because I'm a gay person who offended his heterosexual tendencies.
You are a thoughtful writer.
Huh?
You're a very thoughtful writer. I
Thank you.
liked your writing, so.
Yeah,
Because
and
it has adventure, it has camp, it has, like, your Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman crossover. Was that a dream come true for you to write?
It was, and somebody, Frazier, I think it was Joe Frazier, somebody like that, a thing just popped up and talked about diversity being, you know, just a general part of it. So on my Wonder Woman Meets the Bionic Woman series, one of the things that I did, and one of the things I always do in my books, is that I've you know, right in the script, where's an example? So right in the script here, you can see that the taxi driver in this scene is Middle Eastern, and there's a black person in the panel ahead of it, and there's people with different body types in these upper panels. That's page 2 of the book. And what that was me saying in the script, draw some people who are people of color, draw some people who might be in a wheelchair, include these things even when you're drawing a crowd scene. And to me, that's how you work in representation, is by being inclusive. You don't have to have them holding banners and signs. You just have to show that they exist.
Hey, Andy, you see this? Actually, you see this? That's a light bulb over my head. So I'm starting to write, because I'm getting back into the writing of the comic book stuff. The way that you just said that, you know, including people, even in like background scenes and all that type of stuff, is so great. And I'm going to use that. And I appreciate you adding that into it. So I think that's super wonderful. I wouldn't even think to do that. So
right.
And it's
Matt Russell asked down here in the comments, how do you make an LGBTQ character without it just becoming like, we're just doing this so that there's an LGBT person? And I definitely understand that. I think it's hard sometimes to write any minority, even I'm a gay man, to write a gay man, because I know that so many LGBTQ kids out there are begging to see characters that are like them or that they can relate to. So if you write it and it's not like them, then they're going to be upset with you. And because I would do that. Like, I want to see a superhero gay man who goes through an experience like I had, and I can understand him. But I feel like LGBTQ characters need to start coming up in all aspects. Background characters, leads, villains. Like, we're a diverse community. Not every LGBTQ person is the same. We're super different too. So they should pop up in books in all kinds of ways. And that's not, if one is a villain in one of my books, I'm not trying to make gay people look like villains. I'm just trying to show we're diverse too, just like everybody else. So I think that takes work. It takes time. And so it's going to require a lot of patience, but it's going to require a lot of push too. We need a push to make that happen. Like Andy just said, I love that. Andy was fighting this fight long before I became a writer. So I just want to say, I love you for doing that. I started writing 5 years ago. It was easy for me to be out and comfortable. I've been on 2 panels at New York City Comic Con and others. And it was because you fought a long time before I showed up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We know from any season of RuPaul's Drag Race that gay people can be villains. I mean, that's
or Naked and Afraid, or The Amazing Race.
Hey, I wanted to before Darren says something here, I wanted to ask Andrew, as an example with crossover here of representation. When you were, I haven't watched your episodes of Naked and Afraid. I've got like 40 episodes of it downloaded to watch, and I don't know which one's yours, but I'll eventually get to it. But were you able to? Was it a part of your identity? I know it was on Amazing Race, but was it as part of your identity when you were on Naked and Afraid to be a gay representative on that show?
It was.
And,
I did.
And how did the producers treat you with that?
I was nervous about that. I was in Los Angeles sitting in a room with the producers, and we talked about this. And I said, any survivalist, which I consider myself a survivalist, those that like love to go out in the outdoors and hike and backpack and survive out there. A lot of those folks, they have to focus on their survival. I felt like I had this added boulder on my shoulder to also represent the LGBTQ community. There's not a lot of diversity of queer folks on Discovery Channel yet. I think it's getting better. So I felt like that was just added weight that I had on this particular TV series that a lot of other people that did it didn't have. And they were super cool about it. They certainly showed it. I talked about being gay on the show, and I thought they were very respectful and very kind with it. But it was also kind of scary because you go on RuPaul's Drag Race, you're probably going to have an audience of people who are absolutely gay affirming or queer themselves. Naked and Afraid is not necessarily that. It's a fan base, a lot of kind of middle America, good old blue collar folks. And so that was kind of scary. I was kind of nervous about what that feedback would be. And I was prepared for some homophobic stuff. And knock on wood, I really haven't had anything bad that I saw. So I feel real lucky about that.
Truthfully, honest to God, not because you're my best friend, you literally were great TV. That it's hands down one of the best episodes, because I watched Naked and Afraid because I knew that he was going on it, so I had to. I watched it, and then I got to his episode. I was like, "You are good TV. It's super fun." But what about the tick community? Does the community problem?
If you haven't seen my,
I hear they're invasive.
I lived in Africa and I had a big problem with ticks and tick bites. They're awful. I hate them.
He was on E! Entertainment Television as Tick Guy.
It's on E! Entertainment News.
They just didn't know you were Mr. Incredible. Speaking of Mr. Incredibles, Speaking of Mr. Incredibles, we have somebody else that wants to join the party.
Probably one of my favorite artists of all time, and this is honest to God truth. He drew Superboy. He's worked for Dark Horse. He's done so much stuff, body doubles, all this great stuff. He truthfully is my go-to guy when I want to work with somebody. And so I always hire him. And he also does, and I'll let you guys pick his name. His name is Joe Phillips, and he's so good. He's
amazing.
Oh, he did that?
Yes. He's like literally you and your wife are gonna become Murbies.
Jared, he could draw you looking buff.
He could draw.
Oh, you're my new best friend, buddy. Here, let me give you the silhouette. Now, if you could just pop it up like just a lot more. Oh wow!
Joe is incredible. Oh, I've been a fan for a long time.
A huge fan. Brian the Titans.
Well,
he's so good.
Welcome to the party, Joe.
Howdy, Joe.
Are you muted, Joe?
Can you get your screen going? Oh,
I don't know.
I will say Joe is an incredible example of someone who adds diversity amongst his pieces. I follow him on Instagram and Facebook, and his stuff is the real deal and pushes that envelope across the table like he should. He's fantastic.
So you say he just instinctively. So where Andy was asking people, hey, will you please take this into consideration? Joe does that naturally.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If his video starts to work, he's a man of color. He's brilliant. He adds it in so seamlessly, and he's good at what he does. I'll say that.
That's awesome.
I'm fangirling for him to be here.
He's just waiting for us to quit complimenting him to come on, I think.
Right?
And Andy, he can probably like sculpture head things that you guys
right.
I mean, yeah, Joe's obviously, you just saw some of his art there on the screen. He is an artist, like around, like all around artist. He does custom figure paintings and all kind. I mean, he's incredible. He has a brain like I wish I had. He's great. Oh, someone said I should have a superhero called the Tick. I think that's taken.
No, you're Tick Boy. There is a superhero called Tick.
Yes.
Sorry, I just had to clarify that. Oh, Joe's connection got lost, but as soon as he comes back on, everyone, we will have him here with us. He's gonna join this party.
Wait, he did this share cover. He did Doctor Who, and this is just my stuff. And like literally, I just
wow.
His likeness, and
I love that share cover.
But then he's so for Pride Month, he's doing if you go to his page, he's drawing everybody with the Pride flag behind them, and he's actually like sketching and drawing and all that type of stuff. It's super amazing what he does, and his art is just his likenesses. And one thing that I learned, so one of the things that when I was a young lad getting started in comic books, he introduced Wildstorm, and I met him through that. And he is literally not just a great comic book artist; he's a great LGBTQ plus artist, and I love him. I think he's such a personality too. So.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he has no rules, and I bet Andy, you've been like this a lot. Like some of the images we just saw, some are kind of sexy, nudes even in some of his work, and a lot of people who may be straight are kind of like, "Whoa, I don't know, that's risque." It's just because you've never seen it. We've seen straight men and women frolicking naked in comic books for decades. It's just because there's no representation. Remember we talked about that 20 minutes ago? So that's why some of those images, some people are like, "Ooh, that's too sexy." We see it all the time. When it's a man and a woman, it's fine. So I love that Joe's like, don't care. Joe has no F's to give, as they say.
Right. Right. What I find funny in comics are the heterosexual artists who are so incredibly uncomfortable with the concept that they might be drawing something that would be homoerotic, that they would go out of their way to, like, there's one fairly famous artist, I will not say his name because I like the guy, but like he won't draw nipples on his bare-chested men.
But would he do it on his bat suit?
Yeah, but he'll
you could probably see my nipples right now.
Right.
Wait a minute. Here, let's see. Wait.
And I've called him out on it too, and he always ignores it when I call him out on it. But I'm like, what? Why are you unable? John Buscema didn't do that in Conan. 90% of the time Conan didn't have nipples but there was,
really?
women with flotation devices everywhere. And
really?
I remember this is about 12 years ago, I think, that Alex Ross did a series of Justice Society covers, and they were all portraits of various Justice Society members on a black background. And he drew one of them, I think it was Commander Steele, who was shining metal, and he drew a crotch on him, and he almost got fired because the backlash was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
And Joe is a great example. There he is. It's a great example of someone who will draw crotches.
Is that your brother behind you, Joe?
How are you guys? Can you hear me?
Hi, Joe.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that your brother?
How many eyes are on that shirt design?
Oh my God, too many. This has got like these are all superheroes.
Oh, that's awesome. Hold on.
I
We're
love
going
it.
full screen with this.
See, it's my superhero shirt.
Wow.
I love it.
Dude, that's awesome.
I want to borrow it.
Yeah. So, and then I've got my Cthulhu Mickey Mouse.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I know.
You are such a
Excellent.
geek, Joe.
I know, total geek. And as you can see, the studio is nothing but books.
I
and
love
toys.
it.
And toys.
Yes.
So, Joe, do you know everybody here? Andrew Shayde.
I know Joe. I'm a fan. He doesn't know me, I don't think, but I worship you, Joe. So
Well, thank you. I think I've seen your butt on television.
yes.
Okay.
Look, I'm nervous.
Nice compliment. Look at that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But Joe, have you seen Jared's butt?
Not yet.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Only
I think
fans.
it's on their
We're
O's,
not going to
Jared.
be looking at that hairy thing anytime soon, everyone.
Wasn't there a crypto only fans for a while? Didn't y'all try that venture?
No, we did do a waxing one time, and it hurt so bad that I will never do that again.
Wow.
Hold on.
Yeah,
We're doing a switch.
it hurt, Andy. It hurt.
Andrew Frey said, "Don't do it, Jared. Don't do it. Please don't do it."
Darren has now become Lady Darren.
Holy mackerel, dude! Did you see that transformation, everybody?
I know.
It's alter ego.
It's alternate universe. Darren.
That's right.
Excellent. So, actually, so Joe, what are you working on right now?
My tan? No, I know.
It looks great.
Everybody drink. You have to all drink.
I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff. I'm creating these characters called the Witch Boys, and it's basically for the magic, pagan, alternative nature group of folks. They need representation. There's a lot of.
Are you doing tarot cards with those? Was that one
cards?
Yeah.
A lot of people have. What now?
An enormous poster. You've done an enormous poster with everybody.
I did. Let me grab that for you right quick. Hey, look.
We're literally giving Joe's resume. We're like, he did this and he did.
He's got a minion in the background there. Do you notice that?
We're like Joe's hype man. We're like, yeah, Joe's the man.
It's like literally he's got a minion back there.
Yeah.
What? Where?
Andy, it's the guy at the computer. You know, like in Spider-Man. Like, I want to be your guy at the computer. That's him.
I know. I'm so unorganized. It was funny. It's so warm here. I was in my chair and I was napping and I was out. And then I kind of go like, I'm supposed to do something. And I woke up and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure out where everything is, and it says, you need to use Chrome. And I'm like, oh, I'm on Safari. And I'm like, so I have to like, what's my password? All that kind of stuff. So like finally, it all comes in and here I am. So yay.
Thank you for joining us.
Introduce yourself from the comic book world of. Is that your brother, by the way?
What now? What about who?
Is that your brother?
Yeah, that's him.
He's a great artist too, by the way. So.
Oh, he is.
Hello.
But so like I've got like this enormous poster.
Oh, that's the Witch Boys.
The Witch Boys, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
They're all so.
Oh wow, dude, your art is incredible. Do you do the coloring too, Joe?
Oh, I do it all.
Oh
So
wow.
I noticed that there are witch girls among the witch boys.
There are witch
I did not notice. Can I see that again?
Joe, he just wants to see boobs. You don't have to show him again.
That is not true, Darren.
That was Andrew, but yeah.
There's let's see if we get her in there.
Oh, okay. Yep. We just. Oh boy. Okay.
There's a guy, guy in a dress.
All right. Yep, you're right. They're there. I totally missed that before.
There were some boobs. Jared was like, freeze frame. Boop.
Oh,
There were some boobs.
actually,
There's some
they were drawn very realistically.
there's guy boobs, girl boobs. You know,
Hey,
All
Joe,
boobs.
it's a very it's a very,
people still get drunk as rich people, or are we now? Because we showed Merbies.
oh yeah, I do the Merbies,
Which,
the tarot cards.
oh yeah, his tarot cards are so
You
good.
know, so
And you can also, for this month, you can get yourself drawn with the pride flag behind it, like a self-portrait. It's like the best thing.
oh yeah, I was doing little pride things for the peoples. You know, they
Contact him on Facebook. Order yours. It's super cute.
Yeah. So if people get with you on Facebook, they can actually order commissions from you and things of that nature.
if they have money, yes.
Well, they better have money. We ain't sending them if they don't.
Oh, yeah. Every dime.
Well,
It's-
you know, I gotta say, Joe, I'll bring this up here. Part of the reason that Joe is doing these commissions is because editors don't call us old guys quite as often as they
you know,
used to.
it's especially during the Pride Month. Whatevs. Like I was doing this stuff back in the 90s, early 2000s, or whatever, and they obviously know how to get in touch with me because every once in a while I still get a royalty check, so at least accounting knows where I am.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's weird. It's I don't know if the new people that are there just have don't know any history or whatever. But I was doing that stuff and putting little gay iconography and everything. Just a little having fun with it, and for years. But it's just. Did anyone call me, ask for an alternative cover or a thing? Nothing. Zilch, zero.
Joe, we were just talking about that. Maybe you can talk about this. So DC did their Pride edition, and Marvel also did that too. And I know you have a history more with DC. Do you think, like, when they do these like Pride Month editions, and they don't ask people like you, and I don't even think they asked Phil Jimenez because I think Phil actually did.
No, Phil did variant covers.
He did variant covers for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he did it for that.
No.
And so, yeah, I would be mad for you. I'd be like, you're one of the people, because truthfully, yes, I use you as much as I can, all the type of stuff for work. But you literally are so talented in everything you do. Yes, your mind is all over the place and you're like doing 50 projects. And I love all your projects. But you are so super talented. And I remember the first time I met you was when I was working at Wildstorm. And just your talent level and how you're not working in mainstream comic books always floors me. And when we were going to do like Rich Kids together, which was an old book from a long time ago, you are such an amazing talent. You're such an amazing creator. Why? What is the struggles of you not working? Because Andy talked about his struggles for not working for like Marvel and DC.
I don't know if it's a question I can answer because they've got the door and I knock and they kind of open the peephole and go like, oh, it's Joe Phillips. Never mind. And I don't know. I guess it's not like these people don't know who I am. I mean, I remember when I came out to San Diego, I was over at Wildstorm, and I was working in the pit, doing trading cards and stuff like that. And Jim, I was like right across from Jim's office, big glass window. Jim Lee, he could see me, and he would, they would give me different assignments to do. I was the one who drew. Okay, this was so funny. There was this issue of Captain America, and I think they were doing the artwork, or Rob Liefeld, or one of those types, were doing the art, and then they sort of didn't do it, and they were almost a month late, and they had 20 pages to draw, but they only had 2 days. And so I was there, and so Scott Dunbier said, let Joe draw it. So I drew a Captain America in 2 days, stayed up. A whole issue. Everybody in the studio was inking it. I think Jim inked the page, and Campbell inked the page, and it was insane. We were all just like, I was just like drawing,
In the image style too, not even in your style. You had to do it in their style, right?
Oh yeah, no, I had to,
okay, hold on. I'm the person who doesn't know anything. Can you explain that to me? Like, how do you draw in someone else's style other than your own?
Well, you kind of look at what their telltale marks are, what the thing that makes their stuff look like their stuff. If they do disproportionate bodies, or they do too many cross-hatching lines, or they do interesting proportions, or they do certain type of camera angles. So you kind of like get that in your mind, and then you make your work look like that. I mean, it's something that it's like an old school technique from, I don't know, since comics and movies started. So like when you look at animated movies, the artwork, they come up with a direction of what Snow White's going to look like, and every artist has to draw like that look, so she stays consistent. So, and that's the same thing. Like, so when I learned to draw, I learned to be adaptive. So if you look at my body of work, you can go from something like the Murbies all the way up to something like the Witch Boys.
Or even you started out with painted work on like Interview with the Vampire, and
right, yeah. I started as well. I actually started kind of manga doing
Did you work for
Speed Racer? Speed Racer was my first comic book.
Oh yeah, for Now Comics.
For Now Comics, yeah, and then but I also did Interview with the Vampire. Was like the next one right after Speed Racer.
That's through Innovation, Joe?
Huh?
Was that through Innovation? The Interview with the
Yeah.
Vampire?
Innovation, yeah.
I love that stuff. I didn't know that.
And I would have done more, but again, they were slow on payment, and I have bills to pay.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Joe and I, our careers are very much kind of the same time frame. And back to your question was, Darren, is that one of the things about being a part of the previous generation or 2 generations ago, and Andrew, you're gonna, just a warning, you're going to experience this eventually, is that you're no longer like the people that you grew up with in the field are no longer the flavors. And so the next group of people is looking for the next hot artist or the next hot writer, and they don't say, I saw it happen to Marv Wolfman, and I saw it happen to Jerry Ordway and Bill Sienkiewicz, and people like that who are amazing.
But who brought Marv Wolfman back?
Right. I went to DC once with a proposal, and I had Howard Chaykin on board. I had Sam Keith. I had some other people. It was for one of their anthology books, and they were like, "Nah, not interested." And I'm like, "How in the world?" And I've brought Joe up for assignments multiple times, and they're like, "Nah," and it becomes. I know people have done that with me too, brought me up as the writer, and they're kind of like, let's hire this new person who's only written 2 things, rather than somebody who's got a body of work 30 years past. And I know that with Joe, it's not a question of talent. Joe is one of the most talented artists in, overall in the business.
You're so diversified.
You guys are so sweet to me. I appreciate that so much.
So the thing with, sorry about this, Andrew, because you're a newbie, but so right before I worked for DC and I worked for Wildstorm on the side, and even before I got into like creating my own comic books, Andy and Joe, you guys were kind of like inspirations for me to be able to create and do stuff. And so whenever I could, I would try to bring Andy into Shatner World. Joe, your covers were just like amazing. I could not afford the computers. And you are such a talent. And you both are such talents. And I would not be where I'm now doing Lady Gaga comics without you. Or Amy Coney Barrett comics. Oh, my life. Thank you. So, but anyway, so we're gonna actually talk. We're still getting through. So Joe,
Wait! There was a question that was mentioned that I want to get back to real quick. And it was no, that's not it. Wait a minute.
giveaway.
No, it was a question on how do you find your own style. I think I think the Joe. Yes, there it is. How do you discover your own style? Or how did you discover your own style, Joe?
It shows up. You know, it's sort of like it's like a fingerprint. It shows up. The things that it's like decorating your house or the type of clothes you wear. It shows up. You know, you put something on and it feels comfortable. It feels like, oh yeah, this says me. You know. So when you put on the big black cape and when you walk out the door and you know, and they go like, oh, you know, and so then you start creating more, you know, in that direction, you know, and I think that finding your style, you know, you've got, because there's so many artists out there that do a lot of stuff. You can't really look at them and say, you know, oh, I want to draw like this guy, or I want to draw like that. I mean, you can everybody's influenced. I mean, when I first started out, I used to draw a lot like John Byrne, you know, because I loved his stuff. But you know, the more and more I drew like him, the more I felt constrained, and so I said, well, I kind of like, some of this stuff that Paul Smith's doing, or I like this kind of stuff that George Perez is doing, or I'm like this stuff like J.C. Leyendecker, and I like this stuff like Norman Rockwell, and so I started, you know, adding more things into the soup, and then the characters started coming out, and then when you get like good feedback, you start saying, there's the lane I need to be in, and so I think that helps. But I mean, one of the things I wanted to say to Andy, and is we have to create our own things sometimes when we have been overlooked by the industry, Superman, Batman, blah blah blah, hoodada, you know, and you have to create your own characters. Some of my best friends are people who create their own stuff. So like on Fridays, I have this video meeting. Like Sergio Aragonés is on it, and Stan Sakai is on it, and stuff like. And I talk to Wendy Peeney a lot. And these are people who, you know, they just make their own thing, and people love their thing, and they can find their thing, and they can do the thing, whatever it is. And I think that's kind of what we have to do, because chasing other people's characters that we don't have equity in, you know, I mean, you could do a great run on Wonder Woman or a great run on Batman, and the people are buying Batman and Wonder Woman. They're not buying us. I mean, they're really not.
Right.
I mean, you know, they might. They should be.
You guys are what makes it look good. You guys are what makes it sound good. You guys are what makes it read good, and you guys are what makes it inclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Give props to you guys on that. That's awesome.
But we can't take something away from it. Like you can do like a Frank Miller, and parlay that up your career to do other things, because now eyes are on you, and then you can like launch off and go from there. But it's kind of tricky if you just sit there and, you know, keep going back to that same pot. And they're totally different. I mean, they're totally different editors that I've never met. I don't even know how to get in touch with half of them, you know, and what they're doing. So you have to kind of like create a whole new thing. You have to, the old way of someone, you know, swooping in to recognize you or out. You have to, you know, have your own thing going. And then when they come at you, you ask for everything. You know, you don't kind of go like, well, I'll just do, you know, it's like, no. Like if I'm going to do the comic book, I want to do the cover. I want to do the advertisement. I want to pick the colorist. I want to pick the inker. And if I can't get those things, keep on walking, you know, because I've had too many drawings that I've worked on be given to shitty inkers, terrible colorists. and you've spent so much time on it, and when the final product come out, you kind of go like, meh. And I don't want any more of that.
Really?
If you guys had a choice to pick one character you'd want to work on again or ever, the three of you, and we'll even give one to Jared too. So, who would you pick? So we'll start Andrew first. I'm guessing with your background, it might what would it be? So, who would you want to? What character would you want to work on?
I'm in my bedroom right now, and I'm obsessed with Captain America. So I would maybe say him.
I saw that.
But growing up, it was really Nightcrawler who spoke to me. I grew up Southern Baptist. I was gay, and Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, was this kind of like troubled guy. He looked like a demon, but he had faith and believed in God, and he struggled to find that balance. And so I, as a queer kid in a religious world, I really related to Nightcrawler. So I'd actually, although I'm obsessed with my man, I would probably say I'd want to write and work on Nightcrawler.
I'm gonna pop.
He looks like Captain America.
Yes.
He does, yeah.
Okay, here comes real life Burpees.
And
Hi, Daniel.
I'm gonna point out to Andrew, by the way, go Google Dave Cockrum Nightcrawler art by date. And in the last week, there's some unpublished Nightcrawler artwork that
with Storm
popped up. Let's just say it was eye-opening.
Right?
Is that again, Dave Cockrum?
Jared, there's even something in the drawings for you because Storm is in there too, but it's the creator of the X-Men doing some rather adult stuff with Nightcrawler and Storm. I was just like,
what? How's that even possible? Wouldn't they?
It's been nice hanging out with you all tonight. Good night.
You right there.
So what about you, Andy? We'll go to you.
It's funny because in my career in 35 years, I've written Star Wars, I've written Star Trek, I've written X-Files, I've written Wonder Woman and Bionic Woman. I got to do one Batman story and a Justice League and Superboy, and I've gotten to work on so many of these projects that it's hard to say. If DC offered me more Wonder Woman work, of course I would take it. I love it, and it's clearly an obsession of mine. But if I were to get my druthers at DC right now, I love World War II superheroes. So if I were to get my druthers at DC, it would be to write a Justice Society book, especially now that they've acknowledged that the original Golden Age Green Lantern is gay. And if I was at Marvel,
I saw him.
Oh, speaking of original Golden Age Green Lantern, if I was at Marvel, it would probably be I'd love to write like the Invaders or the Inhumans, somebody that is an outsider to the mainstream and is that allows me a lot more freedom. You can't do anything really with Spider-Man. You can write an interesting story, but you can't do anything. But some of these characters that are not featured in 43 different books, you can actually explore some interesting stuff with them.
So, Andy, I'm going to use my microphone. Inquiring minds want to know, did Linda Carter reach out to you, or have you reached out to Linda Carter about the Bionic Woman crossover?
Oh, both Linda and Lindsay do have copies of the book. You may not have noticed, but up here on my wall there is. You'd really have to zoom in, but there's Linda is tugging on my beard in that photo, and then there's Linda and I at another event, and then me and Lindsay at an event. So yeah, it's talk about getting to meet your heroes.
Are these available still?
Yeah. Yeah, and the documentaries that I'm in on those are actually on the Blu-ray set as well.
Well, when you say meet your heroes, I worked with Burt Ward. Like,
And Joe, what's your answer?
I've been pretty vocal about Burt Ward. So anyway, Joe.
If I could draw anything,
or even create or write or whatever, because you are all encompassing. So you write, you draw, you do a lot. So who would you want to tackle in the drawing or writing realm?
in the drawing or writing realm? Oh my God, that is a good question. I would, I'm going to say something really stupid. Fantastic Four.
Good.
And because I like the idea that it's a family. And I like the idea of I'm a total science nerd. I'm so into particle physics right now. Quantum this and that, and it just fascinates me. And so I'm thinking, you create all of these things, and as an artist, I'm kind of crazy, and I get in my zone of what I'm doing and blah blah blah. And I can imagine Reed in science getting into this zone, and even though family and people are important, they are never going to compete. He's always going to be more interested in this other stuff, and it's and that balance of coulda shoulda. Like, if science can, let's just see if we can, and that's always going to cause trouble. And then you need to have that dynamic to sort of pull everybody back. So you have been this person that his science in a weird way went too far, and so he's kind of his guilt, but it's also his best friend. So you have that dynamic, and you have the wife trying to keep the family together, but have her own independence, and which you're fine with, but at the same time as interesting and cool as she is, I'm working on this project over here, and then you have Johnny who's this wild card, and I think dynamically it's like a fun thing to it would be a fun universe to work in, because then you could get all kinds of stories out of it.
Hey, Joe.
But I don't know.
So somebody asked me, so like they're doing the remake of Fantastic Four. Who would you want to see cast? Anybody?
What? Oh,
What
like
was that, Darren?
Oh, I would go for total unknowns. I would just total new people. I wouldn't want anybody that's out there now, because it's going to be too much about them. I want it to be about the characters.
Yeah.
Or people that, they could be actors now that people know, but not stars, but like people who are really good, but not
I was actually the first person to interview Hugh Jackman back on the X-Men movie. I was at the press tour in New York. I was there on an international press day, and it was their first round of interviews ever. And I got to interview Hugh Jackman, gave him his first cover story. He was nobody. Gal Gadot was nobody before she was Wonder Woman in terms of the general public. Henry Cavill was nobody in terms of the general public. It wasn't that they weren't real people or that they didn't exist or they hadn't been trying for years. It was that they aren't what they are now. None of the what are all the actors that are all named the exact same thing at Marvel?
The MCU?
Yeah. And the guy who's Thor, the guy who's Captain America, everybody has the same name.
Oh, the Chris's.
The Chris's, yeah. I mean, like, the Chris's are pretty much, like, I loved Chris Pratt on Parks and Recreation, but, like, I never would have thought of him as a superhero, But, they were essentially nobodies.
What about John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? That's rumor has that.
Yeah.
No, I just don't see it.
I'm good with that.
I will say, before you go to Andrew with this question, I want to say that the filmmaker I want to see Joe Phillips work with the most is Guillermo del Toro. I think the two of them would create something that would blow people's minds to infinity.
That would be amazing.
I mean, it's
I
just
would love that.
like I just think that they're so perfectly suited for each other.
Can I give it a,
We're gonna make that happen.
you know how we're going to make that happen? So we're actually doing a Guillermo del Toro biography comic book. It's in the process. So Joe, who's going to do the cover to that? Bam! And to get you to get to know him and be friends with him, and I love it, and it's super bam.
Andrew, what about you?
Who would I cast in the Fantastic Four? Was that the specific question? Gosh, I don't know. I think I'd go with no names too. The worst thing that I see is now rumors that actors from the DC universe may be coming in as Marvel characters, and I just feel like those are two distinct worlds that maybe shouldn't cross. So I would probably say no names. Marvel and DC are big enough to take a no name and make them a name and let them be known for that. And I think Joe said it brilliantly. It's like, let the characters speak, not the name, not the actor's name, and people will fall in love with them. They're all putting up good movies, and so I would say some no names would be my.
Just make sure that the no name has range.
Right.
Sure.
And when you get it.
So speaking of, so I'm going to shift a little bit to our next topic. Is Supergirl's new costume in the Flash movie? We have some topics that we have to handle.
She looked like a man.
What?
Well, it's. I think it's actually based off of a different. It's not the Supergirl that we all love. It's not Kara. I think they're kind of going weird. I'm not a big fan of the multiverse of anything, and so they did it in the like whatever it is, the
Injustice
or Arrowverse, and they're now doing it in the Spider-Man things, and they're kind of bringing it into like Loki. I'm not a big fan of like all this time travel stuff. It's kind of screw stuff up. So I think they are using this one Supergirl that we're showing here as part of, the multiverse. It's going to kind of open it up to the world. So what do you guys think so far? Michael Keaton as Batman again, and then white hair Batman. So he's probably from Batman Beyond, would be my guess. And we have Ezra as Flash. So it is very comic accurate. You're right, Matt. But what's your thoughts of this world, the new world? DC Comics can't get it right so far. So
I'm with you on the struggle with multiverses. I have friends that don't know anything about comic books, and I talk about the books that I write or some of my favorites, and they're like, oh, well, I want to start reading Captain America, and they go to the comic book store, and there's 18 different versions, and one it's an alien, and one it's a woman, and one it's a kid, and and they're just like, no, like new readers can't find a foothold on where to start, and I think it scares readers away. So I think that's why comic book sales have struggled in the past. People will see the film and they'll say, well, I'm going to start reading the books too, and they're like, well, this isn't the characters that I just learned about in the film. This is completely different. And so they don't understand. I think you lose people on confusion. So I've told Darren the books that I write, which are not as popular as the big dogs, like we're looking at here on the screen.
Only because you're not known yet.
But I said, if I kill a character, they're dead. And there's one universe, and I'm probably not going to have any time travel. So if I kill someone, I want people to know that's meaningful, just like real life. And if I kill them, I mean it. And that's why I think Game of Thrones was such a big success. We knew that our characters were always in danger, so we had invested interest in them. And if you knew that, well, yeah, Ned Stark's going to die, but we know they'll bring him back to life in season 2, you start to lose that fear when you watch it, that things that keeps you glued to the TV. What happens? What's going next?
Yeah, they actually did a really good job in the series Walking Dead when they tricked us with that one guy's death when he got under the garbage dumpster. They tricked us with his death, and then he came back, and everybody's like, "Oh, he was one of my favorite characters." And then he got his head beat in, and he was really dead. And that, you know, but the cool thing was he like I like what you're saying, you know. With all these multiverses and stuff, especially for someone like me who doesn't know comics very well, I do get overwhelmed and intimidated when I start to see all these, like, you know, all these different paths. I'm like, oh, I want to learn about Captain America. And then somebody's like, well, do you know where to start? I'm like, no.
Who does? Some of the writers can't tell you where to start. Like, there's so many out there now.
The only real there's three comparisons in Hollywood, and that is James Bond, Star Trek, and Star Wars. And so you've got the different ways in which they have handled it. Star Trek has a multiverse. They've gone to alternate universes. That's a thing. So Star Trek has a multiverse. Star Wars doesn't have a multiverse. It's one linear timeline. And you look at James Bond, and they just treat it as, well, the guy who was Sean Connery last movie now looks like Roger Moore, who now looks like George Lazenby, who now looks like Pierce Brosnan. They literally don't reference the fact that the actor is changing. It's just a different person playing it. So you have three franchises, all of whom deal with this issue of aging actors, aging audiences, box office potential, etc. And you know how they deal with it. DC and Marvel both look at it and say, we need to have the multiverse because we need to be able to show a Supergirl in the movies and a Supergirl on TV. And they can't do the same thing with the same actress because they can't sell the same ads that they do on television for the movies. So they have to make them two different ones. But if they don't acknowledge Helen Slater's Supergirl, then the older fans like us are going to get pissed off because we're like, wait, where's Helen Slater in all this?
She's now Supergirl's mom on the TV show.
Right.
And Gene is her dad. Hey, Andrew, can I ask you a question? Was that the microphone?
Oh, yes. This is my necklace. You have to, what I wore in Africa on Naked and Afraid. Which carries our microphone, which is why people wear that on the TV show.
Well,
really?
A button snap?
And it's filthy and dirty, and I have my bag, which smells like dead animals.
Does it have ticks in it?
Probably still. It might. It might, actually.
So going from Supergirl to Superman Lois, because George was supposed to be here. George could not join us. He just got back from vacation and he's supposed to be with us. Superman and
Darren,
Lois.
your audio is kind of funny.
Superman and Lois. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
A little bit better.
Okay, so Superman and Lois. So George was supposed to be with us, and George said that watching Superman and Lois was probably one of the best shows probably ever of Superman. And you know what? I am going to agree with that. I think if you have not watched this show, it is brilliant. It is so... It's showing Superman in a way that because I did not like the actor who played Superman when he was on Supergirl. I thought he was horrible. I didn't think it worked. But on this show, it works so well. And it just intrigues you. And it takes you into surprises that you don't think you would know. And it works. And I love it. And we just watched, my husband and I, we watched the last 3 episodes last night because we were in Hawaii. But have you guys watched the show? It literally is truly great TV.
It's funny you have that image up on screen of them right now because one of the things that my husband and I laughed about was we saw some comments that was like, the 2 sons have total gay face. And straight people are like, what? What does that mean? But
what does that mean?
Everybody gay here can look at that image and go, yeah, they've got gay face.
What?
You don't get to know, Jared. That's
that's not very fair.
Imagine all my selfies, Jared.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I know exactly what's going on now.
Real gay face. I want to clarify too. I didn't say that any multiverse film, TV, or books are written poorly. That I was not commenting on the quality of the writing. I was just commenting on the difficulty of new fans to understand it all and to find the storyline that's right for them or the one that they're looking for.
And Daniel is now giving his book report on Superman and Lois.
Gotta lean closer, Daniel. We can't hear you from that far
I think
away.
that
What were
just
you
means- I
saying,
think-
gorgeous?
I think Darren just has to pee.
Darren has to pee, and so I'm just hoping. So
Well, there's nothing wrong with putting a beautiful man in his place to just hold the screen for him, right?
Oh, that wasn't where I thought that comment was going. Sorry.
What? Oh my!
Next question.
Nobody's illusion said resting gay face. Is that a thing? Probably.
Yes.
Resting. We all know what resting bitch face is, right? It's like
it's a total thing. Right?
Resting gay face is like
my face because otherwise I wouldn't have resting gay face.
Hey, Andy, I know this may not be the forum for it because it just popped in my fucking head. I've got a story that you may be perfect to help me write.
Okay. All right. Good.
Huh?
Let's talk.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys a little tease taste. It's a character I got called Glimpse, and it's about this girl, and she's blind, but when she touches you, she can see through your eyes, and that's why her name is Glimpse. Whoa. And so she's sort of like a hero detective, and she helps people out by so if she touches you for a minute, she can see where you are. So if someone tries to fight with her, she may take a hit the first time, but after that, she knows where they're at or what they're going to do. And so she has a fighting style sort of based off of avoiding and, knowing where to go, because whatever they're seeing, she sees the reverse, sort of like, looking in a mirror. And then, but if she holds in your hand for like 10 minutes, she can like see, 3 days, time in the back. So she can like, sort of like psychometry.
That sounds cool. Joe,
yeah, and she's like a cute little black girl, and she's got a gay best friend who like makes her outfits and drives the car.
Named Joe.
Matt needs that comic right now. Joe, hold up your hand for a sec here. No, other way. Oh, I thought you had like long talons or something.
No, I got super long fingers.
Oh, that's what
Yes,
it was.
Playing piano.
Yeah.
Those are long ass fingers. I was going to be like, how do you draw with those? That's why you can draw so well is with those.
I do have a question. For Andy and Joe.
Which
my
Andy?
theme. Oh no, that's Shayde.
Oh, okay.
That's Shayde. You're Andy. That's Joe. That's Darren. Oh, that's hard.
Andrew. Andrew the cutie, and then there's
that's right. Mr. Incredible is what we call him. But so the question I have for Andy and Joe is, will this be an independent collab? And if it is, will you guys put it in CryptoComics Marketplace?
I don't see why. I'm open to everything.
Good. Yes. I just want to say thank you, everybody. I'm gonna end the show here before he changes his mind. No, I'm just kidding. That's fantastic. I love the ability that you gave her, by the way. I think that's fantastic. And also, I have a question in relation because she catches a glimpse of their vision. Does she also feel their feelings?
Maybe as time goes on, maybe as time goes on, it'll happen, So, because I want her to have some growth, and I don't want, like one of the things I think a lot of times when people come from character creation is they give their heroes or their protagonists like too many powers. They give them like all the stuff.
Right.
and I want her to struggle. You know, like so, like she's blind. Like, how does she have her cool outfit? And I've designed a cool outfit for her.
Do you have a spoiler to show us?
She has a gay best friend, you know, and well, I don't know. Yeah, you can share screens in here, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'll make it happen for you.
Well, let me clear my desktop. Good Lord.
It kind of reminds me of Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable. If he touched someone, he could see their past.
Oh, could he?
That's how he was able to identify criminals. But Glimpse sounds very different. That's like current, which I love, and something I don't think I've ever read or seen anywhere before.
I like the fact that she gets hit, and then she's like, you know, it's like it has to happen, and then all of a sudden she's in it. She's in the zone, and she knows what's happening. But you know, that's kind of almost a surprise aspect, if you would, because it really puts her at a disadvantage at the beginning.
It does. It does.
This is going to be good. I can see Andy just thinking about it right now. He's already writing some of it. He's like, you know, we could do this and maybe add a little bit of this.
Hour.
Let me see if I can. Okay, oh Lord, my screen's gonna be messy, girl. So don't worry about. I'm crazy, so that's okay.
Hey, John.
13.
Let's see. So hit share. Share.
Don't hit share. Nobody should hit share.
What?
I have seen Cher in concert 9 times. Okay, don't even talk to me.
What? Okay, I'm a little jelly.
Don't even talk to me.
No hitting share.
Oh, look, Joe, there's your cover.
Oh, fabulous!
Just because it looks awesome.
I don't even think I have a copy of that.
What? I'll send you it. Addresses.
Yeah.
Okay, select screen that I want. Oh God, how do I know what screen I'm going to be showing?
All I want to be.
Oh, there we go. Boom, glimpse. Boom, boom.
Well, while you're figuring this out, Joe, real quick, we have a surprise for Shayde, and it's with a knife.
My heart just started pounding.
I'm sure he's peeking in here, wondering what we are.
We need to build up the fires.
Palm front on fires just kind of gives it this quick burst of big bright fire and crackle sound. We're hoping this kind of scares him away, but you best believe I got that blade ready. This is my house.
Cool.
What was it?
That was a baboon that hated me. I did not care for him either. He would stalk us at night and was not happy that we were in his area. So what I was saying is, if he comes in here and wants a fight, I'm going to have my blade ready. He'll kill me. Like, let me assure you, baboons would rip me to pieces.
Nah, if you got a knife.
But I'm at least going to go down fighting. And to hear those sounds, you know, I'm from Kentucky. I've been camping and backpacking and the mountains and all over. I've heard all kinds of weird animal sounds, but not like in Africa. And that is unnerving to hear those sounds and the pitch dark when you're out there, just the two of you alone is very scary.
Oh my gosh. Damn it. So you don't think you could take a baboon with a knife, really, honestly?
I mean, I'd like to think I could. You know, in my mind, I'm a Captain America, and I could.
Could you take a shark with a blow dryer?
Ooh, great question.
I mean, I don't know. I suppose I'd try anything. I would just. They'd kill me. I mean, anything out there would kill me. I would just go down fighting. Oh yeah, Darren came to visit. We got a picture with my. That's my blade.
That your knife?
That was my real blade. That's a kukri. I use that in Africa.
Yes.
My friend Todd from Survivor China made me into a pop figure. And that's my pot and my bag from the show. And he's wearing my necklace on his head, but I don't know why. Darren is.
Does it look cool?
Darren is a special breed.
Okay, are you guys ready to see what Joe exclusively show us for the first time it's ever been seen on the internet? Is that true, Joe? I just made that up.
It's true.
Ooh. Oh, I love it.
Dang, dude.
I'm obsessed.
That's sick.
I love the colors.
I like that.
I'm looking at all the other things on our screen too. What else can we know?
Quick, take it off.
I know, right? There's a lot you can see on that screen. I mean,
I was just looking at the outfit and the I love the way you did the glimpse with the same design that was on her outfit, and it's in the actual logo. Freaking love that. That was awesome.
I wanted to go back briefly to what we were talking a couple minutes ago when you brought up whether or not you would be able to feel things, and one of the things this just happened yesterday or 2 days ago. I was out walking my dog and talking to my neighbor, and somehow wishes came up, and I said, if I had my 3 wishes, the number one wish I would have would be that everybody in the world would have empathy. Because I think that part of what is wrong in our society today, and part of the reason why people of color and people of differing genders and gay people and everything else have such problems is that other people who do not have empathy cannot put themselves in their place. They cannot understand their humanity. Amen. They cannot understand their feelings. They cannot understand why they are different. And if everybody had fucking empathy, like fucking empathy, if everybody had empathy for an understanding of what each other is going through, imagine what this world would be like. I mean, that would revolutionize the world if that happened. That would be better than any amount of money or any amount of power or any amount of losing weight, or whatever.
I marched with Black Lives Matter a few times, and one of the things that I said to people that I know, family members, friends, that said, like, I don't know why you're doing that. I'm like, have you sat with any of your friends of color and asked them what they're going through, what they fear, what they feel like? Have you asked any of your friends who are Black moms what they fear with their kids walking out the door each day? If you haven't sat and talked with them about what's going on in their lives, you have no opinion in this fight, in my opinion. Sit down, talk with them, understand the empathy, exactly what you just said. We don't get that without talking to each other. If you don't understand pride, gay pride, you think, well, that's not fair. I don't get it. That's stupid. Blah, blah. Sit down and talk with LGBT people. What was it like growing up and being the only person in your family? What was that like being called a faggot every day in school? Talk to them. Try to get their side of it all. Turn off the news. Don't watch the media. Don't rely on them for it. But talk to people that are in your community. And I do think that makes that empathy just like, man, whoa, I never would have thought of it like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. This is the moment you became a Joe boy.
What are you saying, Darren?
This is the moment you became a Joe boy.
I'm not a Joe boy yet, but that's hashtag life goals.
That's hashtag money goals. No, I'm joking.
I know. I'm coming, Joe. I'm coming. I'm gonna commission the crap out of you. You wait.
My Venmo is Joe-14.
I would have to be a Joe Daddy at this point because I am way beyond Joe Boy.
I draw everybody,
right?
And I give them all the love I can, to make it, because there's too much hoo-ha going on, and people just don't feel, like they're, I don't say seen. Let's use that word, seen. They don't feel like they're seen.
Right.
So you try to create something that they're seen, and I think that's one of the things I wanted to do in creating a new comic dynamic and not worrying about working for DC or Marvel or any of that type of stuff, because they're not telling the stories that we need to hear now, and so there's a lot of different types of stories that we can talk about, but they're not they're not blockbusters. Sometimes they're little small stories about what we're going through, and how they how it affects us, and how we are, get the strength to go through another day of putting up with crap.
Dominic asked down in their comments, he said, I'm afraid to have some of these conversations because I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing or hurting someone's feelings or offending them. I would just say, Dominic, I can't imagine anyone that you go to, whether they be a gay person or a person of color, if you go to them and say, look, there's something I don't understand and I want to learn, show me, tell me about your experience. I can't imagine that would offend anybody ever. Just say, I just want to learn. Can you help me learn? That's such a peaceful, open door, I think.
Here, and this is a safe space. Everybody can ask anything they want here, and we'll answer stuff. We have one more thing to go through, and then we'll open it to questions. And I have a question for Andy at the very end. So, Luca, because we have to go through all this stuff. It's a part of this couch company. We're forced. So, Luca, has anybody seen it? It is the cutest, gayest, fastest, gayest Pixar movie ever. Have you seen
I saw
it?
the trailer. I didn't know it was out yet, but I want to see it.
It's like,
it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really good. It's such a cute story.
I hugged and cuddled my husband afterwards, and it is the sweetest.
Well, I'm going to see it tomorrow. You sold me.
It's really fantastic. They did a great job. The animation looks fantastic. The story rolls really, really well. It's a fun watch, but as you go through it, there's a real struggle that develops. Oh, I better be careful. There's a real struggle that develops, and the dynamics within the show are fantastic. And you really have that monster aspect, that these guys are the outcasts, the monsters, and everywhere they look, it's danger, danger, danger. But it's through their perseverance, and it's through their just being willingness to put themselves out there and try new things and push the boundaries, that they actually win people over. And I just want to say, Andy, you kind of remind me of these two, because you and Joe, you guys are people that were, you put yourselves out there in a time when people were scared to, and that is what really probably paved the way for what's happening right now with people becoming more aware and more empathetic. It's happening. It really is happening. Being invited onto this show with you guys, it makes me so proud to be invited onto this show with you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you guys. Just like Dominic and Illusion said, there is a fear that I will offend, and I won't, and so I'm scared. I don't want to say. You guys have no idea. I don't want to say anything wrong, and I say things wrong all the time. Just ask Darren.
Well, we get it too. We don't want to say anything wrong and hurt anybody's feelings either. We know that feeling too, and we know if we say something wrong, we didn't mean it. So we get it. And I will say that just the other day, Cracker Barrel released a Pride ad. Cracker Barrel, very conservative, known to be conservative tempered. And someone commented underneath it, and they're like, I love LGBT people. I'm just sick of them throwing it in our faces. And I'm like, first of all, we're just sick of hiding in the closet. We're not trying to throw it in your face. We just want to be like everyone else. So let's be very clear. You just want us to hide in the closet again, and we're done there. Okay, we're not going back, sweetheart. There, that's my soapbox.
I just want to say that I believe that's true. I believe that people did want it hidden because they're scared. They're scared, and I think it's fantastic that you guys are actually really the front runners. People really changing the world by really letting everyone know, because it's fantastic. You guys are all fantastic people. Thank you for the opportunity to meet you guys and be here and talk with such amazing people. I really feel honored. This is awesome. Thank you guys. I'm hanging with the bad A's, and my poor buddies, man, they're just telling you suck, dude. We should be on now. And me and Darren won't let them.
No.
Well, I wanted to point out and piggyback on something Andrew said there, and that Dominic and Illusion were asking about, and that you alluded to there, Jared, which is that we have to have these conversations too. Don't think that we're all saying, as people of color or as gay people or something, like we have all the answers. We have to have these conversations. There are things that I don't know about lesbians. You know, after 35 years with the community, but occasionally I have to go like, what's the deal with, you know?
What's the deal with lesbians? Really? I mean,
The difference is I make it clear ahead of time, and this is the advice for those people who are concerned about that. I make it clear ahead of time that I'm acknowledging my own stupidity. You know, I had a conversation again with my neighbor recently, and I said, look, I'm coming from a place of white guilt, and I'm coming from a place of ignorance about certain things. So I want to ask you something, but I don't want to be offensive. I do want to learn. Can you talk to me about this? And they were absolutely happy to talk to me about it and weren't offended and appreciated the fact that I was trying to be an ally, trying to be understanding, trying to learn more about them and their culture. You know, everything about it said, I'm not a threat, I'm trying to learn. And that's what I think all of us who are an other are going to feel when you come to us with questions. Don't come in a way that is going to make us feel defensive or make us feel you're belittling. You know, even if you're a white heterosexual comic book collector, you know this. If somebody comes to you and they're like, what's up with these fucking funny books, man? You're going to be like, hey. You know?
You see, Darren?
But if they come to you and say, hey, I don't get why you like funny books or why you like comic books so much. Can you tell me what is it about the comic books that makes them interesting for you? You're going to be like, oh, yeah, cool, dude. I'll tell you about it. You know,
right.
It's the same thing that if you come to us, whatever kind of other we are in the world, if you come to somebody with respect and you're trying to find more out about them, they're going to share with you.
The smartest people in the world will say, I don't know much about that, but I want to learn. Those are the smartest
willing
freaking people.
Yeah, I'm willing to. And I always tell my kids, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, which goes back to what you were saying, Andy. You said the same thing twice, but one way you said it, and it could easily be construed menacing, where the other way you said it, it was very apparent that it wasn't.
Right. And I think that's one of those things about empathy and about understanding people's experiences. You know, Joe and I are an example of people who have come up in the same comic book world at the same time, and Joe came out very soon after I did. You know, Joe is a trailblazer in this field as well. He's the first openly gay African American person in the industry. Not the first gay African American artist. That would be Matt Baker, who was drawing comics back in the 1940s and who had to hide and be closeted and draw, you know, headlight comics with girls with big boobs to make a living. But Joe was the first one to acknowledge it and to be open. And, you know, but our experiences are very different. So if you ask me a question versus him, our experiences are going to be, you know, so much different, and right. The way we react to those questions is going to be different. But I don't think Joe ever gets offended if you come to him with caring and love with the question. And the same thing with me. I was like, you can ask me whatever you want, just be respectful about it.
You can come ask me anything but bring bourbon and sit down.
Okay.
So you guys, I think it was,
where's my bourbon?
Come on over, baby. I got you.
No, it's
serious. You got to come prepared to these things, Joe.
When I drink bourbon, I get handsy. So I just
come on over, baby. Come on over.
Jared, that's your cue to pose again.
What?
Jared, that's your cue to pose again.
I know.
Wait, which pose am I doing? This one? Wait. Hey, Joe, will you write me in with some muscles?
You could get it. What? Nothing. What is that? Is that your knife? Oh, your Wolverine claws.
That's my knife.
So, Andy, 20 years ago, it was almost 20 years ago, you invited me to be on the case.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Darren.
20 years ago, you invited me to be on the Amazing Comics at Comic-Con, and I answered things. I'm not the most PC person. People love me, they hate me, I have a fan group, I have hate groups. And somebody asked, like, do you feel like you should put more people out that was gay at the time, gay people in comics? And I said, no. And people didn't like that because honest to God, I thought, and this is, and I was controversial at the time, and because that's what I Miller, and then asked me about him, and he's now like, but
I missed a lot of what you're saying, Darren. You're coming through really garbled.
It sounds to
Or
me like
he
he's
drinks,
saying,
the less he gets close to his mic, he starts like, "Hey guys, woo, hi there," and then the mic is way up here.
It's not a close thing. It's the microphone is bad.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So so the question was asked, do you think more gays in comics should be there? And this was literally 2 years ago when nobody was really aware. And I thought, no, for 2 reasons. And I got a lot of crap. And because I always thought it should be organic. And now I do have people that are LGBTQ. I have everybody in comics because it's organic, right? That way, but the make it seem like it's more so like there was only this and it's going to be more characters today. And so I was the person to be. I was the person to like.
I think your audio's bad again, Darren. I think he's saying, what is the difference between queer characters that are forced, like, here's someone that's gay, or just someone like this is one of the characters in the book who happens to be LGBT. Someone commented about that earlier today, and I'm okay with forcing it a little bit because we haven't had as much representation as we possibly could. But that doesn't mean that every page has to be about LGBT issues. That's just part of the character. But I don't like hiding that part. It's kind of like the Loki thing. He's gender fluid. That's what that article says, but it's not popped up on the show, so therefore that doesn't seem to count to me. That's not forced. It was almost just, I don't know, an afterthought.
In my experience, 20 years ago, so 20 years ago, I worked for Visual Comics, and I got fired for doing Visual Comics. And so when it came to the question, I kind of freaked out, and I was kind of like, I don't want to be that gay HIV person. This HIV back in 1997 was not a great thing. People thought, I was contagious. I was fired because of it. And so, looking back at it now, yeah, we are writing gender fluid. I have a comic book coming out now called Aries Goddess of War. And it is like Goddess Aries, Goddess Aries, who is now transformed as a woman and has to live a life as a woman. And so I do believe more in that. So I guess I sort of apologize, but not apologize, because I was living what I felt was right at the time.
You know what? Your views change, and we all as people, we all grow. We all grow, and hopefully in a better way. Mm-hmm. And one of the few lovely things about the last 4 years is watching a lot of people understand that growth is needed and necessary, and that we're going to have to push for growth, and we're going to have to push to teach our kids right, and we're going to have to push for these things because it's still not there, and it's like, if there's anything good that came out of the last 4 years, that's what it is a lot of people woke the fuck up. And it's funny when the alt-right will use words like woke as a pejorative, and it's like somebody calling me a faggot, and I'm like, yeah, I am, and I'm a really good faggot. I am an excellent faggot. I am one of the best faggots you're ever going to meet, you know? And when somebody says, "Oh, you're woke," I'm like, "So you woke up," you know?
Welcome to the party.
You're no longer asleep. You're no longer, you know, it's like the idea that somebody would be, "Oh, diversity." I'm like, apparently you haven't looked outside your own fucking mirror. You know, the world is diverse. Fucking get used to it.
So embrace it.
My language
No, it's fucking all right, dude. It's fucking all right. You've opened the fuck door. Now I can fucking say it as much as I fucking want. It's fucking excellent, dude. I'm a fucking pro at fucking saying fuck.
Woo.
It's one of my favorite fucking words, by the way. I even put it in the middle of words.
There you go. Joe, somebody asked how to get your commission, and I think that's a super important question.
Yes.
You can get my commissions by contacting me on Facebook, or you can get them by writing me an email at joeisnot@yahoo.com.
Joe
or
is not?
Joe is not.
Joe is snot.
And you also have a website.
And you can contact me from joephillips.com, and there's a commission thing on witchboys.com. So if you go to the witchboys.com and you go under commissions, and there's like a link, and it tells you how much it's going to cost, and you can get one.
Everybody needs to order a Pride edition.
What now?
Everybody needs to order the Pride edition of Joe Phillips.
Yeah. And I got
Pride of Joe Phillips.
A Pride one? Man, I've drawn so many of those Pride heads. It's insane. It's ridiculous. I think I've done 60 of those, you know, and I'm like, Argh.
You gotta do the lap dances to pay the rent, baby.
I know we do. We have to do. You know, I totally miss doing Murbies for May. You know,
I'll tell you, if you could write people paragraphs for money, you could do a sketch for money.
You can write little quips. You know, like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's writers. We don't get those commissions. That stinks.
We don't.
Write me a story. Write me a sonnet. I would like a sonnet.
I want you guys to do the collab.
Yeah.
You know, give me a sonnet. Give me a sonnet. So again, I'm terrible at these interview things. So I'm gonna do. I've got another book that I'm working on, comic book. I haven't done comic books in a while. It's called Blind Date. And it's about these two guys that go out on a blind date, and then then the city is attacked by a kaiju, and so they have to survive as a big Godzilla monster, you know, ravages through San Francisco, kind of a thing, and you know, and then and so it's like a rom-com.
Dude, that's awesome.
If you need someone to help write,
that's awesome.
You got to have Andrew involved too, yeah.
All right, Andrew. You know what? Give me your email, because here we're gonna share. I'm gonna share my screen again, maybe.
I will hook the two of you up.
Yeah.
Do Jared, do the screen share thing again. I'll show you the picture.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
I do.
That is awesome.
Okay, so I want to point out here, look at Joe did exactly what I was talking about earlier about look at his body types there. He's got an older guy with funky hair. He's got white people and brown people and lighter brown people and different hairstyles, different body shapes. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about just feature diversity. You don't need to highlight it. You just do it.
Right.
Just show the world like it is. That's it. It's not asking much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read the shit out of that, and I will write.
Dude, I do have a question because I'm a Pacific Rim fan. So is this happening during Pacific Rim fight, or is it like Is it your own kaiju universe?
It's my own kaiju universe. It's just
That's
like
cool.
a random thing. It's like, like you always think, like I want to have a perfect day, and then like something weird happens, and I remember I was planning a big party for my brother on his birthday, which is September 11th, and so we were all going to go out to dinner and blah blah blah, and then that morning the planes crashed and everything was like, oh my god. And so that night it was time, we had reservations, and so we went to the restaurant. There was very few people in there. We were all just kind of staring, like what's going on. So life goes on regardless of what you're doing, and I kind of want to have a story where you have this connection with people, but then you want something out of the ordinary. You're not like something you're not gonna expect. And I didn't want it to be personal violence where there are people that don't like gay people get in their face and get in a fight. I didn't really want any of that, so I wanted something totally random, and then just to see how they handled it. And like, do you abandon the person to save yourself, or do you help each other out, or whatever. And so I think, even though it's a really weird situation, but I think it's kind of funny.
I love it.
I wanted to bring up, by the way, my husband just came down. I thought he was going to take the dog out. But he actually brought one of his favorite pieces of Joe Phillips artwork here.
Oh, hold on. Let me go full screen.
Oh, I didn't even know you had one of those.
It's the gay Mount Rushmore. It's got Harvey Milk, Frank Kameny, Reverend Troy Perry, Jose Sarria, Barbara Gettings, and Bayard Rustin on it. And Joe, is this available on your website?
It is not. I think it was. I think it was commissioned through the people at the Gay Center here in San Diego, the Imperial Court. So they handled everything.
Right. Yeah, my husband bought a box of them here for
fun
special occasions.
Very fun.
So I think we should open.
Well, so guys,
questions.
One second. I apologize. I'm basically getting threatened. Joe, would you also consider blind date for CryptoComics Marketplace as well? It looks fantastic, and I'm literally being thwarted by
Am I getting a date or money out of this? Yes.
You will. You will. That's the whole plan. That's the whole. Our marketplace is for independent creators and independent publishers to self-publish their comics to the blockchain. So it's a different idea that we're doing. We're actually promoting the indie way, and we want the actual pros of the industry to go indie, because we don't think that they've been treated very fair by the big wigs, if you will. So the marketplace that we're creating is a free market. We don't censor, we don't edit, we don't do any of those things. And so as you guys do these fantastic indie creations that you guys have been talking about, if you consider us, we would love you for it forever.
There's money, Joe.
What now?
And there's money, and this company is so great.
I know it makes me sound like an art whore. Is there money involved?
But you know what? So there's.
But you are, Blanche. You are.
darling. Will there be money involved?
Of course, darling. All
right. Very well. I'll consider it. Yes. It does sound fantastic.
They have the best marketing. They're just so good, and you guys are all great, and they let us take this over. So I'm super happy.
That was pretty awesome. Actually, we are so proud and so honored. Darren, we are so proud and so honored. Thank you guys. You have no idea. We actually even created a badge for this show, and it's pretty freaking awesome, actually. I'm going to bring on Frey to tell you about how awesome this badge is, because he's been dying to get on here.
I love how he acts like he's bringing me on when I've been screaming at him from the background this entire time.
Shut up, we brought
First
you.
of all, everybody that's on the stream, I adore you people. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done for this industry. Absolutely, in every way. Some of you I was able to meet before the stream. Some of you I'm only meeting right now, like Joe. Thank you guys so much. So,
my pleasure.
And I'm going to harass you nonstop on social media until we get your books in CryptoComics. Just letting you know. Like, get used to my face. Get used to me annoying the hell out of you. It's got to happen.
All right.
So, I am Frey. I am the COO of CryptoComics. And what we are doing right now is we're going through and we're awarding a badge for all the people that are watching this stream. So, Matt, my homie here, actually made a special badge for this. What you guys are going to do is you're going to want to log into your CryptoComics account, go to your dashboard. Everybody that's done this before, you know how to do it, but we always got to, rephrase everything and let everybody know what to do. What you're going to do then is you just scroll down to your badges section on your dashboard, past all these amazing comics that will soon hopefully include some of Joe and Andy's comics. And Mr. Shayde here is already in the system a little bit. Just a little friendly nudge to make sure you go and leave a good review for Andrew Shayde, because as soon as we go live, that's definitely going to help him keep from being naked in Africa again.
Much safer way to make money writing at home.
Absolutely. And the code for tonight's badge is Wild Stallion, spelt with a Y, just like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, on account of Darren and Jared kicking us off of our own stream. So once you guys award this, just to let you know, you are also going to be in the run, and we're going to do a special giveaway of a significant sticker that will have well, I should say it this way. You can claim this badge, and we're actually going to award a couple of swag packs from anybody that claims badges from today until the end of CouchCon, which is going to be this next weekend. So if you claim a badge and you win a swag pack, you have a chance of getting a special sticker of that badge inside of the swag pack. When you guys get that sticker, on the back of the sticker, there's going to be a very, very limited badge code where you'll award yourself a higher level of the same badge. Kind of a little nod to all the different collectors that are inside of the system right now, and a thank you to everybody that's inside of our community. So that being said, keep your eye out for the special stickers. Make sure you award yourself the badge if you watch this stream. Make sure you guys go like and follow everybody that's been on the stream, because honestly, these guys have changed this industry for the better in so many ways that's not even possible. Darren, I've said 1,000 times that you have, and we appreciate you so much. But everybody else that's on this stream, thank you guys again for doing everything that you guys have done, because it's honestly changed this entire industry in so many amazing ways. Not just with your creative talents, but what you've done. Go ahead. Sorry.
We appreciate you shutting Jared up for a few minutes.
This is the quietest I've ever been, Shayde. This is the quietest I've ever been. Now, just so you know, everyone on this panel will get that special badge that Frey is talking about. You guys have the option to actually get it if you want to get in there and get it. It's pretty awesome. The marketplace is pretty cool. So now, Darren, I believe that you had some, we wanted to get into a Q&A or something. We're at 2 hours and 18 minutes right now, guys.
This is why you and I should never host shows, because all we do is
right. Like, I know. I'm sorry I'm keeping you guys here forever, but you're also awesome. This is so fun. I'm having a blast. Sorry I had to kick Frey off, but he was killing the mood.
Fuck you, Burt Ward. I hate you. I'm going to be in a toilet so you can all hear me. Like Burt.
I see your Burt Ward, and I offer you a William Cat.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, I got y'all beat. I made custom Naked and Afraid Barbie dolls. Eat your heart out, Joe and Andy.
Jen, give me your hair. I want to make them out of this.
I got the whiz.
Wonder Dog. Come on, that's
all right. Well, okay. So I've got my own fan fiction Star Wars, And here is my force dancer.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Joe, I said this before you came on. I said, not only are you an artist, on paper and book, but you also do figurines. And I was your hype man. I was telling him how awesome you were.
Aw, you're so
that
sweet.
You did, because I follow you. I know all your stuff. Yep.
You're becoming more and more adorable. I can't stand it.
We else popped up.
Let's open the questions. We got any music that just came on.
I see Matt. Hey, Matt.
Matt's like, oh,
hey, are you kidding me?
I'm glad you're not naked, Matt. He's like, what?
I would be.
Why not?
Oh,
let's answer questions from anybody. Anybody has questions? Let's look.
We just figured that everybody's had enough of Jared for the night.
You're done.
Including his wife.
That was plenty.
Okay.
So with that, we're hitting like almost 2.5 hours, guys. We should probably wrap this thing up. But go ahead, Darren.
Second, I just have to say thank you to Jared. Thank you to you two. And thank you to Frey. You guys, you make comic books fun again. This is what it should be about. It should be about fun. It should be about adventure. It should be like camaraderie. And, CryptoComics, you guys have always been supportive of us. And I love that. And the fact that you let Jared and I, who is my big buddy, and fucking energy everywhere. Thank you. And you are amazing. Andy, you're amazing. Andrew, you're my best friend. You guys, literally, my entourage.
Oh, you are right. He has a studio audience.
Shayde. If you don't know Darren like super personally, he gets a few glasses of wine in him, and then he loves everybody, and he wants to tell you how much he loves you all.
Hey, Andrew, we earned it. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you
No, Darren.
Geez.
Hey, I want to return. I want to return that compliment, though, Darren. You guys, this is why we do this. This is really, really why we do this. This is a project, a passion project. We're indies too, really, if you think about it. We all have multiple jobs, just like practically every indie creator in this industry, and we're fighting very hard to bring the indies the ability to actually compete in the marketplace and to grow that market share and bring new customers and things of that nature. And if we didn't have people like Darren who actually took a chance on us, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't even
well
be
said.
here. And
very well said.
Darren, thank you. Shayde, thank you. Andy, thank you. Joe, thank you. You guys are what make the comic book industry why we want to make it fun. You guys do the things that we want to showcase. You guys are the reason that we pick up those books and we read them and we look at that fantastic art. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
You guys, truthfully, Andy, Andrew, Joe, you guys were my only choices. We had George that was coming who did the New York Times stuff, but truthfully, you guys are my only choices to be here. And I'll be sad. Shut up. Don't drink. Honest to God.
I was the oldest choice, too. So
the most handsome choice, Andy. The most handsome.
I'm glad Matt came on, because finally somebody's balder than me.
All natural.
Guys, you guys mean so much to me, and in a weird way, by having you guys be here, hopefully it shows you how much you guys really mean to me too, because you guys really do mean a lot. And through my time from Wildstorm, so when I met you, and Andy, when I met you, and Andrew, when I met you, and you're like, who's that? And in a bar. You guys have always been so great and supporters of mine, and I've been hopefully your biggest supporters too, because I do love everything you guys do, and I love you, Joe.
Joe is eating your heart down there.
Everyone was like trying to do the hearts, and then Jared tried it, but he made a vagina, and then Joe did a heart and ate a burger.
Andrew, I
time.
probably made a vagina. Have you ever seen a vagina?
On TV.
On TV, yeah.
Rick, if anybody else is watching this, do you have any last questions? This is your last chance.
Okay, last chance, everybody. If you got a question, they're willing to answer. Right now, you got 10 seconds.
All y'all were great for listening. Thank you, Leslie, and everybody that posted illusions, and y'all were great. Thank y'all.
Oh yeah.
It was nice to have a live audience that actually was live. We haven't been able to do conventions for a year and a half now, and you don't get that audience feedback like when you're sitting there at a convention and talking to people. We all miss you.
Joe.
Oh, cool.
We miss you guys, which is why you guys need to come to CouchCon this weekend.
Oh, amen to that.
Hey, I'll be like Joe. If you pay my way, I'll go anywhere.
Oh, it's online, buddy. You can do it from the comfort of your own couch.
100%. It's done. You just said, Andy, if we cover it, and we've got you.
Yeah. You do have internet, though, right?
I want a lap dance from Jared, though.
Boom, I'll give you one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Dear, I was just kidding, dear.
You guys
I'm not
live.
joking. I'll make sure
You
this
can't.
happens
You can't
in
joke.
person.
You can't joke in a shark-infested tank. You just, I'm sorry. You can't.
Oh yes, because I can run really fast, Joe. I can run really fast.
It's been a year. Everybody gets a pass this week.
Right.
Oh.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Everybody.
Amen to that.
We love you.
Live long and prosper.
All right, Shayde. You got my email.
Yep, I got you.
All right.
Talk to you tomorrow, Joe.
Signing off.
Jared.
See you, everybody.
Bye.